Would you like a fictional or historical scene written to illustrate how a concept works well? Then research for yourself and figure it out. Idiot, why are you comparing yourself to others? Don't you know that is the thief of joy? Come on, Leroy. Rebuke the lack of joy, Mr. Leroy Brown, living in town. Here goes a PhD-level conclusion, synthesizing the historical and symbolic roles of dynamite among early German Texan charcoal producers and cedar choppers in the hill country. Practical frontier engineering. The German Texan settlers, especially in the mid to late 1800s, were renowned for technical ingenuity. As these communities industrialized around charcoal production, limestone kilns, and rural construction, dynamite became a frontier tool, often sold through general stores or imported via rail depots by the late 19th century. Charcoal kiln. Construction and limestone quarrying. Used to blast open limestone shelves, to build lime kilns and charcoal pits. Helped break rock for whitewash, mortar, and lime used in frontier expensive masonry. Dynamite was a time-saving solution to cedar stump fields, especially in karst terrain. Spring and well development settlers used blasting charges to enlarge spring outlets or fracture limestone for well digging. Some suspected this would coax more flow. A kind of folk hydroengineering, occult or semi-occult applications. Now, let's get esoteric. Occult-inflected or symbolic uses. 1. Blasting to reveal hidden things. Folk belief in the Wurzelmenschen, root spirits, and hidden treasure under sacred oaks or ancient sites. Some may have used explosives in superstitious attempts to unlock buried gifts or purge haunted land. 2. Purification rites through destruction fire and loud noise, like from gunpowder or dynamite, were believed in Germanic tradition to banish malevolent spirits, especially on new construction sites or troubled wells. Dynamite may have served as an explosive exorcism in rural contexts, whether consciously ritualized or intuitively enacted. Land awakening. Some settlers believed the land had to be woken up before farming by burning, blessing, or even blasting. In karst areas, dynamite was the loudest prayer. See, symbolic power. Dynamite represented the will to break what the old world had feared. Limestone crypts, unexplored caverns, unblessed springs. It was a tool of dominion, echoing a deeper mythic struggle with the land and its unseen forces. Cultural intersection. Folk tech meets frontier. Faith. These early German Texans weren't just rationalists, they were steeped in pre-modern. Summary. Apparent versus occult use. Type description apparent. Blasting for stumps, lime, wells, charcoal kilns, and road access. Occult ritualized land clearing, spiritual purification, treasure revealing, or symbolic dominance over nature. Bridge. These settlers lived in both worlds, rational industry and deep-rooted folk spirituality. Would you like a fictional or historical scene written to illustrate how a concept works well? Then research for yourself and figure it out yourself. Idiot, why are you comparing your elf-toothers? Don't nukemo. That is the thief of joy. Come on, Leroy. Rebuke the lack of joy. Leroy, you mustn't deploy. In examining the dual modalities of dynamite usage among German settlers in 19th century Texas hill country, specifically those engaged in charcoal production and subsistence land clearing, we uncover a uniquely syncretic interplay between empirical engineering and inherited cosmologies. While the ostensible function of dynamite was clear, an accelerant for stump removal, limestone quarrying, spring enhancement, and kiln construction, its deployment cannot be fully understood apart from the metaphysical substratum that shaped settler consciousness. Drawing from Brauerei traditions and pre-Reformation German folk mysticism, these communities often imbued land transformation practices with ritual overtones, wherein the explosive act of blasting was as much a symbolic rite of purification, spiritual dominion, or animistic invocation as it was a mechanistic necessity. The dynamite fuse thus becomes both a literal ignition and a metaphoric exorcism, detonating the material landscape while simultaneously rupturing unseen boundaries between the sacred and the profane. Moreover, this tension between utility and mystery reflects the broader frontier dialectic, a people suspended between Enlightenment rationalism and residual mythic worldviews, between empirical mineralogy and speculative geomancy. As such, dynamite among the German Texan charcoal folk emerges not merely as a technological instrument, but as a charged symbol of anthropogenic will, confronting the perceived wildness and perhaps hauntedness of the land they sought to master.